What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. Hi, hello, how are we? Happy whatever day of the week it is for you. I put some makeup on for this because I wanted to bring the nice camera out, the nice mic out, because you know what? So many people have been asking me what I learned. I was that kid that was raised by bodybuilders. Yes, my parents, to be fair, here's a picture of them. They were bodybuilders way before they had my brother and I, but I feel like they did teach me a lot of life lessons and really helped me learn to have like a healthier viewpoint when it came to food and exercise. Me growing up, I thought that was normal. I thought all parents were like workout people, and I realized real quickly when I started posting online that no, a lot of people didn't have that privilege of having healthy parents. So I thought, why not share with you the privilege that I had of having parents that were bodybuilders. For a little backstory, my parents were like the classic bodybuilders where like this was maybe back in the 80s, I want to say, and they didn't have protein powders. They didn't have like all the luxury that we have now in competition. So literally my mom told me she used to eat spoons full of mustard as her dessert. She ate a lot of tilapia because that's like a low calorie fish. My dad was that like classic 80s guy putting raw eggs in a blender and drinking it. Wild. I know. And honestly, I've never felt, so many people ask like, will you ever compete in bodybuilding? I've never felt tempted to because of what my parents went through and how they described everything to me. I think they looked fantastic and I really respect the bodybuilding community. I went to the Arnold one time and I was like blown away. But I don't think it's for me. I just don't think it's for me. I just thought it'd be fun to break it down in a longer video and really go into the detail of, let's go with 5 important things they taught me. If you like this series, I can keep going because I feel like I have a lot of tips. Get your lattes out, my friends. Little sip ASMR. I put honey in mine. She's delish. And let's dive into 5 things that they taught me coming from bodybuilders. With that being said, do not forget to like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Thank you if you're new here, and comment down below what you think. I'd love to hear your thoughts. The very first thing that kind of pops into my mind when it comes to something that was important to me growing up, and I think it might be important to you, is I feel like especially as women, we have so much weight, no pun intended, on the scale. And what I mean by this is you see this in movies, you see it in society, you literally read People magazine and they're like, J-Lo gained 5 pounds. Or you go and watch Legally Blonde and they joke about how they want to lose 5 pounds and they step on the scale and they've gained weight, right? Or like think of Mean Girls when Regina George gains weight. We had so much weight in society, especially women, with the scale and success. And my mom never taught me to go off the scale. I didn't realize how privileged and how valuable that was until I got older, because I'm a personal trainer and so many of my clients really get in their head every single day with the scale. And my mom taught me, do not go off the scale, go off how your clothes fit, how your pants fit. And what I mean by this is muscle and fat weigh the same, okay? But they look different. So I could hypothetically weigh more with more muscle and I'm gonna look more lean and that toned physique everybody wants, right? An example is I did a body recomp maybe like a year ago and I started at 135 pounds and then I ended at 135 pounds, but I looked different because I had gotten rid of fat and I had maintained more muscle mass. So I looked slimmer than usual, and I'll pop up a picture here. So really the scale does not matter because maybe you're putting on more muscle for that defined look. A lot of people do want to experience weight loss, and I understand that. But when your goal is to put on more muscle and have that toned physique, a lot of girls prefer, the scale really doesn't matter then at that point. What matters is that you're maintaining the muscle mass. So if you're somebody that really gets in their head about the scale, think of that, like go off how your jeans fit. So even though I didn't weigh less, my jeans fit differently. My body was changing because I had more muscle on instead of fat. So that was just a huge thing my mom just drilled into my brain. And I, to this day, do not check the scale. I might for like a scientific reason, in the sense of I want numbers to go off my macros. But really, other than that, I don't fixate on the scale and I don't have a negative relationship with it anymore. 2, another one, shout out to my mom, Sharon, if you're watching, hi. 2 is, this is actually really valuable and I really, really want to teach my kids this. When I was at the dinner table, my mother did not force me to finish my food. This helped me with portion control and like food guilt as I got older. Now, on the other hand, my parents had a difference when they viewed that. So I was still raised occasionally where my dad would sometimes say, hey, Savannah, finish your food. But I also saw a perspective with my mom where she said, if you're full, you're full. So I kind of had both viewpoints of that. And occasionally they play a part in like who I am now. But that was a huge lesson that I learned. And I thought, you know what? I really want to take that for my kids going forward. And it wasn't like if I was done with dinner, I'd get a dessert. It wasn't like they rewarded it. It was more of like, hey, if you're not hungry right now, we'll save it for later. You can eat it later, or you can have a healthy snack. Like I remember I always had frozen peas growing up and I like loved them. It just really helped me as I got older, not feel pressured to like finish my entire meal, which I think a lot of us do. And that's sometimes where binging comes into play. And I'm not a psychiatrist nor a dietitian, so I don't know. You're listening to a girl on the internet. But I personally think that I really have, as I've gotten older, gotten a healthier mindset on the portions that I want. And then if I'm full, I don't have guilt. I can just go and save it for later. I don't waste the food, but I will save it for later until I am hungry. And I'm not just eating to eat at that time. To my dad's credit and to any parents that did make you finish your food, I completely understand where he was coming from, especially when you're young and like you're picky and things like that. So I do understand it. I do love that perspective of just not forcing your kids to finish that food. And since I've been posting this series on TikTok, I had so many people comment that like their eating disorders stemmed from that as a child, which I just thought was really interesting. Okay, now father, hi, Sean, if you're watching. My dad was somebody that did everything when I was growing up. And I really respected that and appreciated it. He, of course, lifted weights. When he met my mom, he was a trainer. I think he did water aerobics at some point. Like he was a very well-rounded athlete, okay? And what I took away from this was I could pick up any sport. I could run if I wanted to. I used to think I couldn't be this runner, but then I could. And a big portion goes to my dad trying all of these different types of movements with his body. My dad always just embraced like a hybrid. We now call it hybrid training. I'm sure back in the day they didn't. But growing up, my dad used to take us to Spokane, Washington almost every year, and he would run in the Bloomsday race. I think it was a 12K. I used to think it was a marathon. I guess it was a 12K, but still that's so impressive. Let's not demote that. But my dad used to run in this 12K every single year. I thought everybody's parents did that. I thought everybody's parents worked out and then like would go run for hours. And I didn't realize it until I got older and I felt more comfortable trying new activities because that's important. You don't want to be stagnant and just hate lifting weights. A lot of people don't like the gym. That's okay. You can still get movement in, but find out what you love. Do you love to hike? Do you like sports? Do you like team sports? Do you like Pilates, low impact? Like you can be an athlete even though you're not an athlete. And I think my dad taught me that. So as an adult, I think it was really neat to see him train like an athlete, even though he wasn't really competing for anything, he was doing it for fun. So I really appreciated that. And now I feel like I have a good idea of being well-rounded and willing to try anything. Like I am your go-to girl. I will try any form of exercise. I'm not scared of anything because I just saw my dad be such a hybrid athlete at a young age. This goes into my next point. When I turned 16, my mom got me a membership to 24-Hour Fitness. I'll never forget it. That was, I think, the youngest age you could be to start having a gym membership. And I would go with her, but I still did sports in high school. So occasionally if I didn't have the sports, if it was off season, I would go to the gym with her. And I just thought everybody's parent went to the gym. My dad and my mom always went to the gym after work. Like I just thought as an adult, that's what you did. You worked out. You didn't have to have a gym membership, but you always worked out no matter what after work. And I think a lot of people's Achilles heel is like finding that time or feeling really tired after work and not wanting to go to the gym. For me, I think I instilled that discipline because I saw my parents growing up always going. Rain or shine, good day, bad day. They just always went to the gym for an hour and then they come home. And so I think that taught me you should always work out 5 days out of the week, 4 days out of the week, whatever it is. Like I just thought that was normal, which is crazy because now I realize it's not so normal and that people actually really do struggle. Or to be fair, maybe they can't afford a gym membership. I'm not trying to be ignorant to that, but I do think you can get movement in. My mom didn't have a gym membership when I was younger. She would do aerobics on the VHS and I would just like sit there and watch her do aerobics. So you can get the movement in. Don't use that excuse. You can totally get the movement in. YouTube has so many free workouts and you can just do them in your living room, your bedroom, or you can go for a walk. But once I got my gym membership, I would go and work out with my mom and she would teach me how to lift weights. I just have these memories of like using certain machines and like learning what was important. And I remember us doing upper body day and me being like, Mom, aren't we going to get bulky? And she was like, no, this makes you strong. And like, I literally learned that like it was good to have muscle and that makes you strong and you can like carry things easier and you'll have better endurance. And I mean, obviously women, as we get older, we get osteoporosis. And so I think she was trying to teach me it's important to maintain that muscle mass to reduce that risk of osteoporosis. So I really am thankful that my parents, and to this day, my mom and I will work out. My dad and I work out. He actually works at a gym and I'll go with him and we'll do a workout together. And I'm really thankful that they normalized lifting weights and not making it seem scary. She never was like, women get bulky. She was like, lifting weights is cool. Like, this is how you're gonna look like this. And she was just very straightforward. And I appreciate that because a lot of people are taught that women can't lift heavy because they'll get bulky. So I hope you liked this series. I am so well aware of how privileged I am to have been raised with parents that have healthier mindsets. And I just wanted to share it online because I think these are tips that would be amazing. And sometimes they're like aha moments that you just don't realize. So with that being said, do not forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I will see you next time.